So we're here with Gary from Polartec, and he's going to talk us through their new Delta fabric. So what is Delta and what's so interesting about it?
Polartec, as we know from the last time we chatted, Polartec's a producer of technical textiles. In this particular case, Delta was a platform we developed to keep people cool. And if you think about our bodies and how we evolved to sweat as a cooling mechanism. It's an evaporative cooling mechanism. And people think of sweating as a bad thing, and most of the industry for years now has been trying to wick moisture away from the body, which actually can hurt an athlete's performance. And so we stepped back and we said, okay, how can we actually enhance the body's natural evaporative cooling effect? And that's really where Delta came from. What Delta is, it's a fabric that's designed to hold moisture next to the skin without feeling wet.
So the fabric is still pulling the sweat away from the skin, but holding it right close to it, so it doesn't feel wet, but it does feel cool.
Absolutely. And so evaporative cooling, to kind of demystify that, right? When you step out of the shower and you're wet before you dry off, you feel cool. Yeah. And if it's cold out, you want to dry off quickly, right? Because as air passes over that moisture, it lowers its temperature. That's evaporative cooling in a nutshell. And so, again, we're trying to hold moisture, keep it next to the skin, but not feel clingy and gross and wet.
So if you're looking at a cross-section of the fabric, what kind of structure would we expect to see then?
Sure. So actually, when we were working on this in the development phase, we actually called it, the code name was Project Radiator. So we basically created a micro-grid radiator structure. And what I have in my hand is I have a couple of examples. One that's really looks technical, you can really see the grid. We can see the two different fibers, one that's holding moisture, one that's moving moisture, and you can see the three-dimensionality and how it would stand off of your skin. The other was a response from customers that said, that's great, but it looks too techy for something like a golf shirt or tennis. And so we developed a PK, a classic PK, which looks more like a golf shirt. So it has less of that sort of physical radiator structure, but still accomplishes the same thing. So if you think about cycling, it's not uncommon to see a rider taking their water bottle and squirting it on themselves, right? And that's the rider's attempt to cool down. And so we sort of joke and say, drink your water, don't splash it on yourself if you wear Delta.
So a lot of our readers and viewers are obviously going to be interested in where they can get hold of some of this Delta fabric if they're riding in hotter environments. So which brands are you, because obviously you don't produce your own cycling kit necessarily, but which brands are you working with to introduce Delta into the market?
Sure. Well, actually we did produce our own cycling kit for our team, and that's sort of right behind us. And the team was our test bed. We did hot weather testing and training in southern Spain. We brought the team to Arizona, to the desert outside of Tucson. And so we have applied it in our own team, but we also have a number of brands that range across the sport from mountain biking. So we have Fox that has a piece that we can take a look at. We have a really nice brand in the United States called Velocio that's done a wonderful piece, both men's and women's, and then Ririk here in Europe.
So Ririk, Velocio, and Fox, they're going to be using it, and also on the pro side of things as well, right?
Sure, yeah, and I think I've talked enough about the fabric. Maybe I'll have you talk to a couple of friends of mine who have some experience.
Okay, sounds great. So we've got Ivan Basso and Alberto Constor who've been using the Polartec Delta fabric in their strip. So you've got your foundation team. So how have you been working with Polartec to help develop the Delta fabric?
We are working with the Polartec. We have a special collaboration because at the final we do different tests, we improve and we repeat. At the final, when you are on the bike, you need to have the best fabric that you can with you, for are in the optimal condition. Maybe some days it's very hot, very warm, some days it's cold. With the Delta, it's incredible. When it's very warm, you can sweat a lot, but you always will be dry. It's a big difference. The jersey that like more in the team, and all the riders are very happy. And also that I training 3-4 days per week, and I training with this fabric, with the Delta from Polartec, and it's incredible.
And even how much interaction do you guys have then with the team at Polartec to help develop the fabric? Are you giving them a lot of feedback?
For us, Polartec is not only a technical sponsor, it's part of the team, it's part of results, it's part of the improvement of our performance. So we work all year to give feedback, and our riders are the best testimonial because they can work every single day. Until now, it's a partnership with very successful, so we are very happy.
How long have you had a chance to be riding with the new fabric?
Yeah, we try the first model 1 year before, and they try in training, in the training camp, and the first prototype, and finally we see the material was okay, it's perfect, so the company start to work to the new product, and the riders start to work with the product is working well, so that is the system to work.
And how have the team riders, your junior riders, how have they enjoyed being involved in the process of developing the fabric?
Well, they start because they feel part of the team. Our team is not only a professional. We are a junior team, under 23 team, professional team. It's like it's one big team together, 38 riders, and every single rider make his support. Finally, we are a big family and we work together to make a good smash in between sponsor and sportive team and sponsor and company. So I think the good message in between is the best way to make a successful